In the silent silver dust of the moon, there are footprints. They are shallow indentations preserved by a perfect vacuum untouched by wind or rain for more than half a century. They are the ghosts of a bygone era, a testament to a time when humanity took its first audacious steps into the cosmos. For generations, these impressions have been the solitary markers of our farthest reach, a high-water mark of exploration. Since the last boot lifted from the lunar regolith in 1972, an immense and profound stillness has returned to our celestial neighbor. The voices have gone silent, the rovers have ceased their roving. The only light upon that desolate, magnificent landscape is the cold, ancient fire of distant stars and the reflected glow of the world that sent its children there, only to call them home and seemingly forget the path back. But the quiet is a temporary condition. The universe does not favor stasis, and neither does the human spirit. A promise was made in that final fading moment of the Apollo age, a vow that we would return. Now, after decades of looking inward, of circling our own world, that promise is stirring. A new generation, born under skies that never knew the thrill of a live lunar broadcast, is preparing to awaken the echoes of that monumental past. This is not a story of repetition, of simply retracing old steps. It is a narrative of evolution, of building upon the shoulders of giants to see a farther horizon than they ever could. It begins not with a landing, but with a journey around, a reconnaissance of the soul, a mission to test the mettle of both machine and human, pushing farther into the deep black than anyone has been since the final chapter of Apollo was written. Deep within the cavernous halls of the Kennedy Space Center in Florida, a new Titan is taking shape. It is a cathedral of engineering, a place where the dreams of millions are meticulously bolted, wired, and welded into a physical reality. Here, the very definition of integrity is being assembled piece by piece. This is the birthplace of the Orion spacecraft for the Artemis II mission. The name itself, integrity, is not a mere designation. It is a declaration of purpose, a commitment etched in metal and fire. To comprehend this vehicle is to understand a fundamental shift in philosophy. The capsules of the Apollo era were marvels of their time, but they were instruments of a sprint designed for a singular goal. Orion is different. It is conceived for the marathon. It is a vessel intended not just for a visit, but for a sustained presence. Imagine a master watchmaker crafting a chronometer, not for a gentleman's wrist, but for the crushing pressures at the bottom of the deepest ocean trench. Every gear, every spring, every seal must be flawless, for the consequence of a single imperfection is absolute failure. Now replace the pressure of water with the utter void of space, the intense radiation of the Van Allen belts, and the thermal extremes that swing hundreds of degrees from sun-drenched brilliance to shadowed abyssal cold. This is the environment for which Orion is being built. Its construction is less an assembly line and more a painstaking art form. Technicians shrouded in sterile white suits to prevent even a single speck of dust from contaminating. The sensitive electronics move with a deliberate grace. They are the surgeons of a new age of exploration. The core of this machine is the crew module. From the outside, its conical shape is a familiar echo of the past, a proven design for slicing through Earth's atmosphere upon return. But within it is a vision of the future. Gone are the thousands of analog dials and switches that defined Apollo's cockpit. In their place, a sleek, multifunctional glass displays a digital nervous system that provides the crew with unprecedented control and insight into the spacecraft's health. The life support systems, the Environmental Control and Life Support System, or ECLSS, are a closed-loop miracle of recycling. They are designed to reclaim water from breath and sweat and to scrub carbon dioxide from the air, creating a self-sustaining bubble of Earth in the most hostile of environments. This is not just about keeping the crew alive, it is about enabling them to live and work for weeks, even months, far from the sanctuary of their home planet. Fused to the base of this crew module is its powerhouse, its lifeline, the European Service Module, a testament to global collaboration. Provided by the European Space Agency, this cylindrical section is the workhorse. It is the heart, lungs, and muscle of the entire Orion vessel. Its single, massive main engine can perform the powerful burns needed to break free from Earth's gravity and to steer a course home. Its smaller thrusters provide the delicate maneuvering required for precision navigation. Sprawling from its sides are 4 immense solar arrays, wings of photovoltaic cells that will drink in the raw energy of the sun, converting it into the electricity that powers every computer, every light, and every life-sustaining pump. On board, within its chassis lie the tanks of propellant, oxygen, and water, the vital resources for the long journey ahead. The process of joining these two halves, the American crew capsule and the European service module, is a moment of profound significance. It is the physical manifestation of international trust. Slowly, with millimeter precision, a giant crane lowers the gleaming white cone onto the metallic cylinder. Lasers guide the final approach, ensuring a perfect alignment. Once joined, they are no longer 2 components from 2 continents. They are a single, unified exploration vehicle. They are Orion Integrity, a name that now carries the weight of a transatlantic promise. This intricate ballet of machinery and human oversight is not without its perils. The timeline for this mission has been a fluid, shifting thing, a reflection of the immense difficulty of what is being attempted. The target launch date, once hopefully penciled in for 2024, then pushed to 2025, has now settled into the early days of 2026. This delay is not a sign of failure, but rather a testament to caution. It is the product of lessons learned from the triumphant yet imperfect flight of Artemis I. That uncrewed mission, a thunderous debut for the new Space Launch System rocket, sent an empty Orion capsule on the very same trajectory its successor will follow. It was a resounding success, but the data it sent back contained warnings. During its fiery re-entry through Earth's atmosphere, Orion's heat shield, its primary defense against the 5000-degree inferno, behaved in unexpected ways. More of the protective material ablated or charred away than models had predicted. Understanding this discrepancy is not an academic exercise. It is a matter of life and death for the 4 souls who will ride inside it next. Engineers are now painstakingly analyzing every square inch of data, rerunning simulations, and developing new models to ensure the shield's performance is perfectly understood and utterly reliable. There were other challenges. Valves within the life support system showed unexpected vulnerabilities. The circuitry for the launch abort system, the explosive rockets designed to pull the capsule to safety in a launch emergency, revealed potential faults that needed to be rectified. Each of these issues is a puzzle, and each puzzle must be solved with absolute certainty before a crew can be strapped into their seats. The cosmos does not grant second chances. The schedule must bend to the unforgiving laws of physics, not the other way around. And so the world waits as the engineers and technicians do their vital, methodical work. February 2026 is not just a date on a calendar, it is a deadline for perfection. And who are the individuals chosen for this monumental undertaking? Who are the 4 people entrusted with carrying humanity's ambitions back into deep space for the first time in over 50 years? They are not superheroes. They are 4 exceptionally skilled, incredibly dedicated human beings, each bringing a unique set of experiences to a mission that will demand everything they have. They are the crew of Artemis II. Leading them is Commander Reed Wiseman. A former naval aviator and test pilot, Wiseman embodies a quiet, assured confidence. He has seen the Earth from orbit before having spent 165 days aboard the International Space Station. He understands the rhythm of life in zero gravity, the constant hum of machinery, the disorienting beauty of a planet hanging in the blackness outside a window. But this journey will be different. As a test pilot, his career was built on pushing experimental aircraft to their limits, dancing on the edge of the envelope to find where the boundaries of performance lay. He will bring that same analytical, methodical mindset to Orion. His job is not just to fly the mission, but to understand the spacecraft on a level deeper than any manual could provide. He must become one with the machine to feel its vibrations, to interpret its digital language, and to lead his crew through any challenge the void may throw at them. His command will be defined not by speeches, but by a steady hand on the controls and an unwavering focus on the objective. Sitting beside him as pilot is Victor Glover. His path to this seat is one of trailblazing perseverance. Also a decorated Navy pilot with thousands of hours in high-performance aircraft, Glover was the first African American to serve as a long-duration crew member on the International Space Station. His journey is a powerful symbol of progress, but it is his immense skill that earned him this role. Glover will be the one with his hands on the stick during the most dynamic phases of the flight. He will be responsible for piloting Orion, for executing the precise burns, and for navigating the vessel through the celestial mechanics of the Earth-Moon system. He brings a palpable sense of joy and wonder to his work, a constant awareness of the privilege of his position. For him, this is not just a technical flight, it is the continuation of a legacy, a chance to carry the dreams of so many who came before him on this incredible journey to the moon. His presence ensures that this new chapter of exploration looks more like the humanity it represents. Behind them are the mission specialists, the scientific and engineering heart of the crew. Christina Koch is a name synonymous with endurance and record-breaking achievement. An electrical engineer and physicist, she holds the record for the longest single spaceflight by a woman spending a remarkable 328 days in orbit. That experience is invaluable. She has an intimate understanding of how the human body adapts and maladapts to long periods in space. More than that, her time on the ISS was spent repairing complex systems, conducting hundreds of experiments, and performing spacewalks. On Artemis II, she will be the crew's systems expert. Her role will be to monitor, test, and troubleshoot every aspect of the Orion spacecraft. She will push its life support, its navigation, its communication systems to their design limits, gathering the crucial data that will certify the vehicle for the even more ambitious missions to come. She will be the first woman to ever venture beyond low Earth orbit, a historic milestone that shatters one of the final glass ceilings of space exploration. Rounding out this remarkable quartet is Jeremy Hansen, representing the Canadian Space Agency. His journey is a testament to extraordinary patience. Selected as an astronaut in 2009, Hansen has spent over a decade supporting other missions from the ground, serving in leadership roles and training relentlessly for a flight that until now had never materialized. He is a former fighter pilot from the Royal Canadian Air Force, bringing a wealth of operational discipline and skill. His inclusion is profoundly significant. It transforms Artemis II from a purely American endeavor into a truly international one. He is the first non-American to ever be assigned to a lunar mission. His presence on board is a living symbol of the collaborative spirit that defines modern space exploration. He will work alongside Koch, cross-trained on all of Orion's systems, serving as a second pair of expert eyes and hands, ensuring that redundancy is built not just into the hardware but into the crew itself. Together, these four individuals have become a single, cohesive unit. Their training is a relentless gauntlet designed to prepare them for any eventuality. They spend countless hours in high-fidelity simulators at the Johnson Space Center in Houston, practicing every phase of the mission from launch to splashdown. Instructors throw cascading system failures at them, forcing them to work together under immense pressure to save their simulated spacecraft. They are submerged for hours in the Neutral Buoyancy Laboratory, a colossal swimming pool that houses a full-scale mock-up of the space station, where they practice emergency spacewalk procedures, even though none are planned. They are flown to remote barren landscapes for geology training, learning to read the stories written in rocks, preparing for a day when humans will once again be field scientists on another world. They endure wilderness survival training in the unlikely event of an off-course landing. Through it all, they build a bond of absolute trust, a reliance on one another that will be their ultimate safety net when they are 250,000 miles from home. The mission itself is a grand, sweeping arc across the heavens, an elegant figure-eight dance between two worlds. It will begin with an eruption of controlled violence on Launchpad 39B. The Space Launch System rocket, the most powerful launch vehicle ever constructed, will awaken its two solid rocket boosters and four RS-25 core stage engines igniting to generate nearly 9 million pounds of thrust. From inside Orion, the crew will feel this power not as a smooth acceleration, but as a brutal, rattling, all-consuming vibration, a feeling of being in the grip of a managed earthquake. The G-forces will press them back into their seats as the rocket claws its way through the atmosphere, shedding its boosters and core stage as it ascends. Just minutes after launch, they will be in orbit, suddenly weightless, but they will not linger. After a systems checkout, a final go-ahead will be given from mission control. The rocket's upper stage will ignite one last time, a powerful sustained burn known as the trans-lunar injection. This is the moment of commitment, the precise impulse of energy that flings Orion out of Earth's embrace and onto a path toward the moon. As they pull away, the crew will witness one of the most profound sights available to any human being, the Earth shrinking behind them. Their home will transform from a curving horizon into a complete sphere, a swirling living marble of blue, white and green suspended in an infinite blackness. It is a perspective that has been known to fundamentally change those who see it, an experience called the overview effect. The journey to the moon will take several days. This is not idle time. It is a critical period for testing the vehicle that is now their entire world. Wiseman and Glover will perform maneuvering tests, firing the thrusters to practice flying the spacecraft manually. Koch and Hansen will be running diagnostics on every system from the solar arrays to the toilets, characterizing the performance of their ship in the harsh environment of deep space. They will be the first humans to fly through the intense radiation of the Van Allen belts, since the Apollo missions, and their ship and their bodies will be living sensors gathering data that will be crucial for protecting future astronauts on longer voyages to Mars. And through it all, they will be looking out the windows, watching as the moon grows from a distant bright disk into a massive cratered world that fills their entire view. The climax of their flight is the lunar flyby. They will not enter orbit. Instead, they will use the moon's gravity like a slingshot. Their trajectory will take them looping behind the moon, coming within a few thousand miles of its rugged alien surface. For a period of roughly 30 minutes, they will pass behind the lunar far side. In that time, the bulk of the moon will physically block all radio communication with Earth. They will be utterly, completely alone. 4 people in a single small craft, farther from any other human than anyone has been in more than 5 decades. In that profound silence, they will be the first to see the far side with their own eyes since the crew of Apollo 17. They will gaze upon craters and mountains that are perpetually hidden from our view on Earth. Then will come a moment of sublime revelation. As their spacecraft emerges from behind the moon's limb, they will witness an Earthrise. The brilliant blue and white sphere of their home planet will ascend over the stark grey lunar horizon. It is an image that, when first captured by the crew of Apollo, 8 inches 1,968, ignited the modern environmental movement and united humanity in a shared sense of awe and fragility. The crew of Artemis II will have the privilege of seeing this spectacle for themselves, capturing it with high-definition cameras to share with a new generation. It is a reminder of the ultimate purpose of going out into space to better understand our own place in the universe. The gravitational assist from the moon will bend their trajectory, whipping them back on a course for home. The return journey will be another few days of systems, checks, and observations. But as they approach Earth, they will be preparing for the mission's final and perhaps most dangerous phase re-entry. Orion will hit the upper atmosphere at a staggering velocity of nearly 25000 miles per hour, or about 11 kilometers per second. The friction with air molecules will rapidly compress and superheat the atmosphere ahead of it, creating a sheath of incandescent plasma, reaching temperatures half as hot as the sun's surface. The heat shield will be put to its ultimate test, bearing the full brunt of this thermal load, ablating away layer by layer, as designed, carrying the intense heat away from the capsule. The crew will experience powerful deceleration forces, their bodies feeling many times their normal weight. After surviving this trial by fire, a series of parachutes will deploy, slowing the capsule from hundreds of miles an hour to a gentle splashdown in the Pacific Ocean. Recovery forces from the U.S. Navy will be waiting to retrieve the crew and their spacecraft, bringing a successful end to a 10-day journey that will have covered over 1 million miles. The successful completion of Artemis II will be a watershed moment. It will prove that the hardware, the Orion spacecraft, and the SLS rocket are ready to carry humans on ambitious missions. It will validate the years of training, planning, and problem-solving, but its importance extends far beyond the mission itself. Artemis II is the essential gateway to everything that follows. It is the mission that makes Artemis III possible, the first human landing on the moon in the 21st century, a mission that will see a woman and a person of color walk on the lunar surface for the very first time. The data gathered by Koch and her crewmates on Orion's performance will directly inform the final preparations for that landing mission. The success of this flyby paves the way for Artemis IV and beyond missions that will begin the construction of the Lunar Gateway, a small space station in orbit around the Moon that will serve as a staging point for exploration, a science, laboratory, and a way station for future voyages. The Gateway represents a paradigm shift from temporary visits to a sustained, permanent human presence in the lunar environment. This grander vision sees the Moon not as a final destination but as a vital training ground and stepping stone. On the Moon, we will learn how to live and work off-world for long periods. We will learn to extract resources like the water ice trapped in the permanently shadowed craters of the lunar South Pole. That ice can be broken down into hydrogen and oxygen, breathable air for habitats, and powerful rocket propellant for the next great leap. The Moon will become our offshore continent, a proving ground for the technologies, the operational strategies, and the physiological countermeasures needed to undertake the much longer and more perilous journey to Mars. The Artemis program, with Artemis II as its critical human test flight, is the first concrete step in a multi-generational plan to make humanity a multi-planetary species. So as we look toward February 2026, we see more than just a rocket launch. We see the culmination of a long and patient effort to reclaim a lost capability. We see the courage of 4 explorers willing to venture into the void to test the boundaries of our technology and our ambition. We see a machine named Integrity, a vessel built not just of alloys and wires, but of international cooperation and an unwavering commitment to safety. The 50-year silence on the frontier of deep space is about to be broken. The footprints in the dust will soon have company. A new era is dawning. The echoes of Apollo are being answered by the voices of Artemis, and they are ready to begin the next great chapter of our species' journey to the stars.